Man, do you ever get them days when you're kind of tired of doing the same old thing? You want to shake it up a little bit, throw off the shackles of tradition and cut a new furrow. Well, I know I do. And I also know that I'm Colin Green and you are listening to Spike Pit.
Hey, Colin, why don't we just talk about it together?
Frank Turfler there from Frank T's Liner Notes, fellow anchorite, and he's summing it up there, really, my thoughts on Anchor. This idea of it all being a bit of a big conversation, really. It's not about individuals so much as all different people with common interests getting together and discussing those interests. So I've taken Frank up on his offer, and we're going to be talking about some aspects of the game that we're interested in a bit later on today.
Hey Spike Pit, this is Ray Otus from Plunder Grounds. I was listening to your episode in which you and your brother Arfed talk about board games, and I loved it. It was fantastic. I'd love to hear you and Arfed talk more, actually. But as far as cards and role-playing games, the one that really sets the bar for me was the Marvel Superhero Adventure game, which was designed on the Saga card system. I believe they did a Dragonlance one too, but I bought it at one point. I didn't care for it. But the Marvel edition was great. You worked from a single deck of cards, and there were 5 suits. 4 of them aligned to abilities, so like intellect, willpower, dexterity or agility, I forget which, and I can't remember what the other one was. It's probably just strength, actually. And then the 5th suit was Doom. And players had hands of cards that represented their, the hand size represented their strength. So when they took damage, you would lose cards and your hand would shrink. And that gave you options. So you could kind of bank a little bit on what cards had already come out and what cards you had in your hand. And of course, if you did something that was strength related, you'd want to play a strength card to match it. There was just lots of cool things in that. And if you had to play a Doom card, which were typically high numbers, you could get the benefit of that Doom card, but the GM would get that card to play back against you later. And there were all kinds of creative cues on the cards themselves. Like a card might have a little line on it that says hazmat leak. So if the GM was looking for a way to complicate the scene, you could read that line and introduce a hazmat leak or sirens on the way or something like that. So that's a good source of inspiration if you want to look at what's been done with cards and role-playing games.
Ray Otis, thanks for calling in, buddy. Glad you're on the mend. I listened to your most recent episode this morning and thoroughly enjoyed it, hearing about those kooky films that you've been watching. And I'm going to check them out. But I'm also going to check out Marvel Superhero Adventure game. It sounds really kind of fascinating, totally in my wheelhouse. Now, I've got to put my hands up. I've got a bit of a confession. I'm not a massive superheroes fan. I kind of like them, but just didn't really get the bug. I'll sit and enjoy the majority of the films. I like some of the DC stuff as well. And it might be something I need to revisit. I'm listening to some episodes of Kirby's Kids. I caught a few and then kind of it's gone under my radar. But if anybody out there listening don't know about Ray's other podcast, Kirby's Kids, he looks at graphic novels and comics with his Budsky Angus. And as I'm talking about Ray, in a Ray style, I'm going to put out a little homework assignment for anybody that has experience of Marvel's Superhero Adventure game. Perhaps you'd like to call in and tell us a bit more about it from your own point of view. So perhaps we can throw a few more voices into the mix.
Hey Colin, this is Larry. Follow Me and Die. Appreciate you sharing. I will say I too had my annual physical in November, and my numbers are up. Mine's a different problem. I have dealt with high cholesterol, but I keep that under control with diet. My problem is my weight went up, and it's messing with my blood sugar levels. So there's a familial history of adult onset diabetes, so I'm got to lose some weight to stave that off. I've done better than my siblings, and I'm the oldest, so that's good. But I'll shoot you a message through Discord about some things that I've done with a low cholesterol, or a low carbohydrate diet.
Hey, Colin. I'm right there with you, buddy. As far as at my age, I shouldn't feel as bad and sluggish as I do, and it's due to some medicines and medical and I guess inherited things. So I'm right there with you, and I was getting ready to have a big old brunch, and after listening to your cast this morning, I'm gonna have a sensible brunch, and I'm gonna change up some things too. So I want to offer my support to you, and I'm gonna kick in and try to drop some pounds too. And best of luck to you, buddy.
Do you know, it never ceases to amaze me, the anchorite community. If you you put out a call and they never fail to deliver. It's great to have call-ins. We've got the two Larrys, Larry Haught and Larry Hamilton from Follow Me and Die. They're talking about, the things they're doing and offering their support. Larry Hamilton, he took some time and put some notes on Discord, which I've read. And on the subject of Discord, I don't know if it was Jason or Cody put up, I think it was Jason actually, put up the Gamer Health section on the Audio Dungeon Discord, and loads of people over there have been kind of offering their support and advice, and there's kind of a little bit of a buzz going. Pizza Ready has put up a Google sheet, I think it is, where you can, we're going to have a little 3-week competition to kick off the weight loss, putting in on a Monday. So Monday just gone, your start weight, then Monday coming, your weight again, and then the third Monday will be the day of reckoning. So, once again, what can I say? The shout's gone out, everybody's pitched in, and this is what I love about the anchorites. We're all having a conversation, we've got similar interests, and sometimes you could say similar problems, and it's like a team effort, man. So thanks, guys. And I don't want to blow by Larry Haught's message. I did really pick up on a deep sincerity there from Larry, and he's a regular caller, and yeah, man, just thanks a lot for the message, and I appreciate your support. I hope you can hang in there with us. Another change that I'd like to make going into 2019, I want to get some more role-playing games in. In particular, I'm exploring the whole business of online gaming. Basically, this has kicked off, as I've said before, Talon running his DCC on a Sunday morning session. It's kind of got me the bug. I need to get back to Talon and get some more of that DCC goodness going. But I've been a little busy adventuring on the accursed Isle of Kalmatta in Jason Hobbs's game. It's thoroughly enjoyable experience, and also a couple of sessions with the grill wizard Gabriel. He's run us through some one page dungeon and the beginnings of Stonehell, and that was also good fun. I played in the Stonehell game. There was two of us, me and John Large, and got a game tomorrow night in John Large's new BX campaign. I think he's going to be streaming it actually. He normally does, so, or does he record it and then put it on YouTube? I'll have to find out, but totally looking forward to that. And also some play testing with Gavin Norman for the new advanced classes book coming out for BX Essentials. Playing that as well tomorrow. So I've got that first, and then I'm playing in John's game. And as if that's not enough, you're thinking, I just found out through listening to Dungeon Musings that Kevin Madison has got a Saturday morning sort of open table game for Astonishing Swordsmen and Sorcerers of Hyperborea. So a bit later, I'm going to reach out to him and see if I can get myself in a sort of a drop in and get a session of that going. So, folks, that is looking sweet on the gaming front. I'll probably be back on the mic in a few weeks saying how burnt out I am, but hopefully not. I'm enjoying it at the moment, and yeah, roll on with the online stuff. Anybody who hasn't tried online gaming, I tell you, I can heartily recommend it, as I've said before, and yeah, I'm truly a convert. On the subject of Jason's Kalmatta game, whilst I was working this morning, I was thinking to myself, in fact, no, it was yesterday and today, thinking about this idea of West March's style play and open tables and things like that. And I've been having so much fun with it. It's really, it's really grabbed me. It's kind of got my imagination. I like this. I like the fact that you can jump on the Audio Dungeon Discord and get a bit of a chat going relating to the Kalmatta campaign. And previously this was on G+, but I didn't I was a bit late to the party with G+, so I'm not on there much, and it's all winding down now, as I'm sure everybody's aware. Which it does sound like it's a bit of a pity. It looks like it's a pretty good community, but, things change. And I don't want to ramble on about that. Us podcasters, anchorcasters do like a ramble. And what I've been thinking about is this idea of safe zones that you get in like the West Marches style. Traditionally, my interpretation is that is like the town, your starting town. On Kalmatta, it's Cindenor, but there are rumours that there are other safe zones maybe popping up. In particular, Jason has mentioned Zadabad, and I'm carrying out my my intelligence gathering and trying to find out a little bit more about that. We've got a session planned for Sunday. I don't know if there's any more spaces. If there's anyone interested, we're going to maybe try and explore this idea of a trip or voyage to Zadabad, or if we don't find it sufficient information, my character is the brother of the fallen Spike. He is the younger brother called Pike Sleverid, and he's a lot more of a different character, much more cautious, shall we say, and but like Spike, they are adventurers at heart and like to do their research. The typical dwarven caution. Well, I don't know if it's typical, but when I play dwarves, they're kind of belt and braces. Well, they have been so far anyway. But yeah, so safe zones, getting back to the direction. This idea of like in a sci-fi game, you'd have the Starship Enterprise or a gen ship or one of these things, and then you make forays out from it like away missions. I'm wondering if that could work in the West Marches kind of game. So if you was to circumnavigate Kalmatta, for instance, on a big ship with an undetermined amount of crew that could serve as potential henchmen and hirelings or kind of future players. So this pool of guys and girls, and then when you plan a session, the like the away team or the I don't even know what they call them in naval terms. The guys who jump in the little boats and sail to shore. They are the people that are playing in that session, like a little crew, the party, shall we say, the landing party. And this idea fascinates me. So you could kind of like, you can do this circumnavigation of a larger space without necessarily having to always get back to your town. Now, maybe your safe zone could have, a little bit of a suspension of disbelief and avoid it coming into real trouble. But it could always still be on the cards, perhaps. But by and large, most stuff's going to happen to these little boats or the landing parties and things like that. I think it could probably work. They would have to find supplies and pick up stuff to keep the mission going. But I see that as probably something that could be add interest to the idea. The other thing I was thinking about was the idea of like beach heads or kind of explorers camps or strong points out in the jungle. So I think in the back of my mind I've got this idea of like these Roman marching camps where you've got quite a body of like a caravan or like a legion of guys, and they've headed out into enemy territory, and when they stop each night they erect a kind of stockade and make a secure camp. And I wondered if there was a similar way that adventurers could do this, using henchmen and hirelings, porters and torchbearers. Maybe when they got a little bit of treasure and a bit of money, they could forge out into the wilderness and establish some kind of fort. Maybe secure a location that they've cleared of monsters. So, a ruin or some kind of dungeon that already provides a measure of protection or that has got some sort of resource associated with it. And this is another idea that has really captured my imagination. You could hire people to guard it so that when you're away, it has got that, you have got that proper secure and safe feel with a place where there's not a lot going on, because the whole West Marches campaign is to get away from people just kicking around in town. Same thing, you don't want people just knocking around in camp, fighting off threats that are coming to the camp. We want to keep this moving on, this exploring, and then perhaps when you get to a certain distance, you break camp and you move on again and establish another safe zone, and or maybe keep one and then set up another one, and then you could sort of make secure supply lines and all stuff like that. I just thought it might be quite interesting. I know Jason's working on a game, and I think he's got, so he's got Relentless and Steadfast. Steadfast is a kind of fantasy one, and maybe some of these ideas are the things he's talking about. He's talking about the domain game, and I suppose some of these ideas are the sort of things that go on in a domain game, because you're almost talking about strongholds. Anyway, that's just something that's been on my mind, and I look forward to seeing what Jason does with that, actually.
Hey, Colin, just listened to your unboxing of the monster cards. Loved it. Very funny. Thank you for the shout out. I think it's the first time I heard you and your boy. Very cool. Love to hear that kind of thing. It sounds like he's a pretty smart kid and enjoys gaming, and make sure he's keeping those challenge ratings right. Those Ancient Dragons and Troll challenge ratings straight. So it sounds like cool cards. I'll have to look into those. All right, guys, I hope you get some good gaming in. We'll talk to you soon.
Cheers, Tim. Good to hear from you. I'm glad you enjoyed the episode. It was fun to do. I like recording stuff with Sonny. It kind of takes me back to my own childhood enthusiasm, and it kind of always makes me smile. I put the episodes out in an attempt to perhaps pass a little bit of that sort of nostalgia or childish wonder out to the community, and kind of remind some of the old grognards out there of what it's like to be young. Anyway, cheers, Tim. At this point, I'd like to thank everybody who's called in. Thank you to all you folks that tuned in to listen. I appreciate all the support from the community, and hope I can do my bit to, contribute. Now, before I go, I have got one last caller. It's Jay Webster from Roleplay Rescue, and the man's going to laugh me off the mic.
Colin, it's Che from Roleplay Rescue, mate. It's listening to you unboxing monster cards has got me pissing myself, mate. I'm sorry. Oh God, the sound of you pulling out the shrink wrap, mate. Hilarious, genius. Cheers. Keep doing it. Cheers, Colin.